What do Diego Maradona, Ronaldinho, and Andres Iniesta have in common? Well, apart from playing for Barcelona, there is something else. Getting a standing ovation at the home of your biggest enemies is no easy feat, and yet these guys managed to achieve it. Just wait till you find out who the fourth person is on the list too, but first, it starts with Diego Maradona. Coming into the 1983 version of El Clasico, Diego Maradona was one of the Barcelona's most informed players. In the opening part of the season, he had bagged 6 goals and 9 assists in 14 games for Barcelona before tragedy struck. Maradona had fallen sick and was so ill that he missed over 3 months' worth of action for the team. By the time he returned, it became a question of him trying to find his rhythm again. He managed to get 2 assists in the 4-0 win versus Celta Vigo, but the real test for Maradona came in the biggest game of the season so far, the second installment of El Clasico. Away to Real Madrid, Maradona knew what the deal was. He needed to put on a performance, and it's safe to say in the game he did. Linking up with Bernd Schuster, he was a constant threat all game, but where it really peaked for him was when he scored this goal on the counter. 1-on-1 with the keeper, most attackers would pick a spot and slot it in there, but Maradona had the skill to not only go around the goalie, but still wait for the onrushing defender, give him the slip, and then put it in the back of the net. We're talking about a goal so good that right after, the Bernabeu showed its appreciation. They really loved it. See guys, there's been the argument that this only happened because El Clasico back then wasn't as heated as it became in the modern age. Especially when Real Madrid entered the phase where they started acquiring the best players in the world for heavy amounts to come and play for them. The likes of David Beckham, Ronaldo Nazario, and Zinedine Zidane, all these guys became known as the Galacticos for Real Madrid. And while they did dominate Spanish football, in 2005 the Bernabeu had a new favorite. El Clasico again that year, and this time the scene was set for an epic. The Real Madrid team on display that evening felt like a cheat code. All the names above, Beckham, Zidane, Raul, Ronaldo, Guti came on, and Ramos in defense, but yet, it was a Barcelona superstar who stole the show. Ronaldinho's performance in the game was electric. Right after Barcelona scored first through Samuel Eto'o, the game was on edge. Both teams went hard at it, but Barcelona soon realized an easy way out. All they needed to do was give Ronaldinho the ball, and it was over. Honestly, the number of times he did in Sergio Ramos' dirty field's illegal to watch. And he didn't stop. That second goal was class, and even the Real Madrid fans knew it too. At 2-0 down, it looked like the game was over, but Ronaldinho wasn't done. It just felt like he was the only one in the stadium who didn't feel the pressure of the occasion, because with the way he played that evening, it was like he was playing cage football back in the streets of Brazil with his buddies, and at the end, constantly went in on Madrid's defense, and that third goal, it settled it. And at that moment, it happened again. Magic! The Real Madrid fans were so impressed with Ronaldinho's performance that after he scored his second goal of the game, they started applauding him. A truly special moment. At the time, it just confirmed what the world already knew. The 2005 Ballon d'Or was yet to be announced, but judging based on what had been seen that evening, it wasn't up for debate anymore. To be able to pull that kind of performance in the biggest season at the home of your rivals and still get them to applaud you, Ronaldinho was in a class of his own. But this one gets even better for Ronaldinho. See guys, just before he made the move to Barcelona 2 years back in 2003, Ronaldinho was actually on the radar of a couple of European football's biggest teams, including Real Madrid. Madrid had the chance to sign him, but it was turned down. Among the reports, one of them was that they turned down the chance to sign Ronaldinho because he was too ugly for the club and opted for the more marketable David Beckham instead. Honestly, this just feels like the ultimate plot twist. The player they deemed unfit for the club was one the fans gave a standing ovation just 2 years later. If Ronaldinho's standing ovation was well-deserved, this next player's own was a fitting tribute. Andres Iniesta needs no introduction. He's one of the few guys in football who is next to no haters. You just can't hate the guy. In the context of El Clasico, unlike Diego Maradona and Ronaldinho, Andres Iniesta is from Spain. Represented the country at the highest level of international football, and has the most important moment in Spain's national team history. But just before I show you what the moment is, if you haven't subscribed to Total Footy yet, then hit that button down below. Iniesta's moment? The goal that secured Spain's first and only World Cup title in 2010. But in the context of Spanish club football, Iniesta playing for Barcelona all his life should have made him on the enemy list for Real Madrid fans. But that wasn't quite the case, especially after what happened in the 2015 and 16 season. Barcelona versus Real Madrid at Madrid's Santiago Bernabéu stadium, but from the scoreline, you would have been forgiven for thinking it was Barcelona who were the home team. 4-0! The way they played that evening was jaw-breaking stuff. Try as they did, Real Madrid couldn't come close and Barcelona kept making inroads into Madrid's half. A big part of the reason they were able to do that was because of Iniesta. He was having a storming game and even managed to get in on the goal action as well. Top bins with that one, with Xavi having left the club the season before, Iniesta became the new captain of the club. And not just leading his team, but inspiring them to a magical performance like that, it was truly amazing. And with just under 15 minutes to go, Barca's head coach, Luis Enrique, decided to sub off Iniesta for Munir El Hadidi. And I'd bet neither himself nor Iniesta could have predicted what happened next. It wasn't just the Barcelona fans applauding, the Real Madrid fans were as well. Well deserved too. Heck, everyone who watched the game knew the truth. Iniesta won the Man of the Match award for his impressive performance that evening, captaining the team to a win like that with a goal too. Now guys, all three players that we have mentioned so far managed this impressive feat of standing ovations at the Bernabeu while playing for Barcelona, which makes it even hotter, but this next guy, it was a sign of things to come because he's the only different person on the list. Lamine Yamal, the best young talent in the game right now, and I quite literally mean that. He won the Golden Boy Award at the Ballon d'Or ceremony a few years back.
And the winner is Lamine Yamal.
But that won't be the first time Yamal's getting recognized on the big stage. With the way he's been playing, he breaks records in almost every game he plays in. Young player of the tournament for Spain at the Euros too, that's some very serious form. That he's even playing for Spain beats the expectations. See guys, Lamine Yamal made his debut for the Spanish national team at 16 years old, becoming the youngest player to play for the national team, and in the same game, he made history as well. He became the youngest player to score for the national team too. Lamine Yamal didn't relent after this record, and on the day he played for the national team at the Bernabeu, he was treated like a hero. It was supposed to be a friendly, but just looking at the teams playing, this one was all set to be a blockbuster match. Spain versus Brazil at the Bernabeu, and the amount of talent on display was amazing. On Brazil's team, they had the likes of Vinicius Jr., Rafinha, and Rodrigo all playing, while on the bench they had teenage sensation Endrick as well. For Spain, down the attacking flanks, it was about giving the young talent they had a chance. Nico Williams started, same with Lamine Yamal. At the time, the hype for Lamine Yamal was huge and it was a chance for Spanish fans and the world alike to see if the kid could cut it on the big stage. And I guess it's safe to say he did. The way the noise volumes went up as soon as he had the ball, it was special. Lamine Yamal put on a show for the ages. I mean, he was taking on everyone down the left-hand side of Brazil's defense. Wendell and Beraldo were having serious issues trying to catch him. And he capped it off with an assist too. Endrick did come on for Brazil to get a goal in the game, but there was no denying who the real star of the show was. In the 92nd minute, seconds toward the end, Lamine Yamal was subbed off, and as he was walking to the bench, the Bernabeu erupted.
He's played a part in all three goals.
Listen to the noise go up as he walked off, man. Still gives me chills. The kid was still only 16 when he did this, took on a Brazil team with all those superstars, and still performed. Yes, you could say the performance that evening from Lamine Yamal was a sign of things to come, because after that, he hasn't slowed down, and has even gone on and scored in the same stadium over a year later. This kid really is the future. Did you enjoy this video? If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button to Total Footy right after, and also see that like button to the video, click it as well. Think Lamine Yamal is the future? He's just overhyped? Well, let us know in the comments below.